Welcome to the Pilates class for today, and we are going to be focusing on 2 spine movements. So there's 4 spine movements. There is another video that covers rotation and lateral flexion. Today we're going to cover flexion, where the spine leans forward, and extension when the spine leans back. And extension is actually the one that we lose the most of as we get older. So really it is the most important one to help keep us nice and tall. So for the class today, you will need a band. You don't need a band, but if you have a band, that will come in handy. Otherwise, a towel or a belt or something like that. And you may or may not need some cushions to sit on for some of the exercises. But otherwise, we'll get started. So the first thing we're going to do is just warm up that lower back a little bit. So I'm just going to take that out the way. And we'll use a band. But I'm also going to show you how you can do this without the band. I quite like the band just because I'm lazy. In my defense, I'm actually after stretching the back, not so much the strengthening for this class. So if you have a band, have your legs, your band over the feet, and just make sure your toes are sticking out. Otherwise, if the band comes off, it's going to pop you in the face, and then that will be quite painful. And have the band so it's relatively tight, okay? And we're sitting nice and tall. So I'll do one with the band, and then I'm going to take the band away. So from here, take a breath in. Now, pull the belly button in and send your pubic bone towards your belly button. So we're going to start tilting. So you'll come off of your sitting bones towards the coccyx and then to the sacroiliac joint, which is that hard, chunky part at the top of the coccyx. Now, keep your elbows nice and relaxed. So we don't want to be pulling because you're tensing up the whole upper body. Keep everything nice and relaxed and hug the belly in. So I really want you to think of bringing your hip bones and your rib cage closer together, and we're just focusing on stretching off this lower back area. The head will naturally drop a little bit, so your eyes will probably be towards your thighs, somewhere around there. And then breathe in as you come back up again, grow nice and tall. If you don't have a band, have your legs a little bit wider, hold the back of your legs. Sitting nice and tall, breathe in. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, pull the belly button in. So get that belly button to hug inwards, going past your coccyx towards that chunky part of the back of the pelvis. You're focusing on bringing your ribs and your hips closer together. So really hug it in. Relax your shoulders and your arms. So just be aware you're not hanging on for dear life. And then inhale as you come up. Grow nice and tall. So you can actually experiment with feet up versus feet down if you are using your hands. If you're going to use a band, you need to keep the feet up so that your band doesn't come off. So just pick whichever one of those you are going to work with, and we're just going to do a few more. But make sure your starting position and your end position are a definitive position, so we're not just going in and out of it, because as part of the spine mobility is to come up into that position. So off we go, relaxing the shoulders, inhale. Pull that belly button in, so hug your belly button in towards the spine, tilting off the sitting bones towards the coccyx, and then from the coccyx towards the sacroiliac joint, or the back of the pelvis. So just be aware your knees are not flapping, they all want to be staying in the same place. Allow the band to pull your hands closer towards the feet, just feel that nice stretch in the upper back. And then inhale as you come up. Now lift your heart, relax your elbows. So pull the shoulder blades together and lift. So it's almost like you're coming into a very, very, very tiny extension in the upper back. So a little bit of a back bend in the upper back. Inhale, exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Stay there for the full exhale. Inhale, come up. So we are just going to flow. Just warming up that lower back. Stretching off the back and waking these abdominals up. Inhale as you come up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Think of trying to lift your heart slightly up. And exhale backwards. Last one. And then bring yourself back up again, grow nice and tall. So from here, release your band, coming into my most hated exercise, but actually it's the best one for me. Joseph Pilates always used to say, what you don't like, do two of. So if you find that sitting with a tall spine and straight legs is too much, so perhaps you land up in that kind of shape, sit on a cushion or a block, okay? And that is going to give your hips some space. But then just be mindful that your knees might need a little bit of padding underneath if you are elevating your hips so that you don't put too much pressure into the knee joint. If you can grin and bear it, try and curl the toes back. You're going to get a lot more out of it. So this is actually a really good exercise for sciatica as well. And if you are prone to sciatica, you can also sit on a block, and that will just help with that. As always, we don't want to work to pain. So we want to be uncomfortable, which if you've got hamstrings like mine, you are going to be. So hands on next to you. Sit nice and tall, lift your collarbone. So this is very active, this position. So if you're not feeling it, you're not sitting right. Pull the shoulders back and down. Take a breath in. Drop the chin to the throat. Now pull those shoulders back, slide them down. And now we're going to sweep the hands forward. So send your hands towards your feet and imagine you're going to put your head on your knees. So you might notice on myself, my fingers just about reach my ankles. Pull that belly button in and then bring yourself back up again, grow nice and tall. So we're going to do quite a lot of these because the secret is the repetitions with this particular exercise. And hopefully at some point you're going to feel like there's a big give in your body. Like I said, it's not one of my favorites, but I do after a while. I'm like, oh yeah, I can feel it now. So breath in, chin to chest, reach the hands forward, head to knees. So now look there, I'm already past the foot. So trying to get the head down, hug your tummy in. Inhale as you come up, and we're just going to keep going. Exhale. Inhale. Keep your feet flexed. So your brain is designed to keep you comfortable. So be mindful that when you don't come up, you don't do a half one and then go back again. So make sure that you lengthen up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. And you might notice how far my hands have got now. Exhale. And then also notice which side is it restricting. So I'm definitely feeling that there's more pull on my right side than there is on my left. So let's just do 3 more. Exhale. Long exhale out. Inhale up, and this is the last one. So hopefully you have felt how the tissues have started giving. And then bring yourself back up again. Oh, and have a little shake. Like I said, not my favorite one. So we've leaned the body forward. Now we're going to do extension. So we're going to come into front lying. Now, if you've got big boobs, you may want to have a block under your forehead just to help keep your neck in a straight line and would also give you a bit of space to breathe. And we are coming into front lying. So have a play with having your legs together versus having the legs a little bit wider. If you tend to suffer with like achy hips, achy back, you might find having the legs a little bit wider gives you a bit more space, but you're probably losing some of the benefits. But we're not after pain, you're just after a bit of discomfort. So if you can bear it, have the legs together, you'll get more out of it. So forehead will be down on the floor or a block, and your hands are down to the side of you. So pull the belly button in. Send your pubic bone into the floor and squeeze your legs. And imagine you're trying to touch that skirting board behind you. Now roll your shoulder blades together and lift your hands. And let's do palms facing down and then float the head up. So my toes are still touching the floor. Palms facing down really opens up the chest. And most of us need that, especially if you sit on a computer all day. And then release as you come back down and give everything a wiggle, switch all those muscles up. So we'll do a few more. Be conscious that your feet don't lift unconsciously, subconsciously, unconsciously lift. We want to control the body. That's one of the key points to Pilates. So belly button pulls in. Pubic bone down, reach your legs away. Keep the toes light but still touching the floor. Roll your shoulder blades together. Lift the hands, palms facing down. Float the head up. Now, I want you to try and touch the back of your heels. So really trying to pull those shoulder blades together and down the back. Now, squeeze your bum cheeks. Can you lift your legs higher? But have your legs opened up. So try and keep your legs close together. And then release down. Have a little wiggle. Just switch off all the muscles. Quite hard to breathe in front lying. So legs are together. Belly button pulls in. Pubic bone into the floor. Roll your shoulder blades together. Lift the hands, lift the head, squeeze the bum, lift everything. Now pull your hands down towards your feet. Your head is down, or your gaze is down. So do not looking up. Think of the back of the neck being nice and long. I'm going to stay here for another breath. Breathe in. And exhale. And then relax. Bring the hands under the head. And just give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to come into what's called a swan. So you can also keep the block there for your head. I'm just going to sit up quickly just to show you this part. We're going to have the arms in a W position. So depending on your spine, if you know you're quite stiff in the lower back, have your arms more forward. If you know you're quite supple in the lower back, have your hands so they're in line with the head. If you're not sure, have your hands more forward. We can always adjust it as we go through the exercise. For this one, we're going to have our legs in turnout. So turn your thigh bones outwards so your knees are pointing out and your feet, and have them nice and wide. Okay? So forehead is down. And then your arms are in a W position. If you're not sure, have them more forward. Now pull the belly button in. Send your pubic bone into the floor. Engage your legs. So like we did with the last one, keep the toes touching the floor, but keep them soft. So your thighs are working, your knees are working, your calves are working. Now lift your head without pushing into your hands. Keep the chin down. So you can see there's no weight in my hands. So the glutes have to work. So really push your pubic bone down and then relax. Have a little jiggle, just switch everything off. Belly button pulls in, pubic bone into the mat, reach your legs away. Head comes up. Now I want you to gently push into the floor, but just hold a little push. Are your elbows trying to come out to the side? So what I want you to do is think of pulling your elbows in and then push up. Because what happens when your elbows come out to the side, your shoulders will go up to your ears, and we want to avoid that. So as you push up, bring your elbows in, and that helps the shoulders to stay down. So you can see I'm coming up probably towards the belly button. And this is as much as extension as most people need. Often, I find it more in yoga, people always want to come up there and then they wonder why they've got a sore back. This is as much extension as you need. And then as you come down, elbows in and relaxing down towards the floor again. So I say you can take it a little bit lower if you want to. But again, just be aware it's not your ego rather than actually you have got that space in your back. A rule of thumb, if you feel like you're crushing your lower back, then you probably are. So don't let the ego get in the way. So belly button, pubic bone, engage your legs. Use the back strength first to lift the head, and then gently push into the floor, hugging the elbows inwards, chin slightly down. Check that your shoulders are pulling down the back. Remember to keep that pubic bone going down. Engage in the legs. And then release and come down. We're just going to do one more. I might add a little bit when we get to the top. So belly button, pubic bone, legs. Using the back first. Then gently pushing into the floor. Elbows are down. Chin slightly tucked so the neck is long. Now hold your position, whatever position you're in. Make sure that your pubic bone is down. Now, can you squeeze your left bum cheek so that the left leg goes a little higher, but without pushing into the opposite side of the body. Oh, and then release the left leg. Now we're going to do the right one. So squeeze the right bum cheek. Can you lift the right leg a little higher without rocking into the other side or dropping the arms? And then release down. Now here's your challenge. Can you squeeze both your bums? Can you lift the legs, pull the shoulders down the back, and then release down? Ooh. Hands under the shoulders. Hug your tummy in as you push yourself up. So just coming onto all fours, we're going to just do a little cat-cow. So tuck your tailbone under, round your back. If you can't do knees, you come onto your back and hug your knees. And then send your tailbone to the ceiling. Just loosen your back. Or you can come into a rest pose, child pose. Again, ask your body, what does my body feel like right now? That is what I try to teach my clients, is to actually listen to your body. So we've got one last exercise to do, and this is going to combine flexion with extension. I really love this exercise, and it's called, Paul makes these things up and then calls them names. So we call it seated cat-cow. So if you haven't got a band, you can use a towel or something. It doesn't work as well, but you can still get a nice stretch from it. If you have got a band, you're going to pop the band over the legs and have your legs straight. So the problem with a belt or a towel is it hasn't got give. So you can actually do this without anything, and you just have to visualize, and you can still innervate the muscles the same way as if you did have a band. So from here, you want to have this band quite tight. Okay, so for me in a relaxed position, this is me relaxed. Okay, for me to sit up nice and tall means I have to use a lot of my back muscles and my abdominal muscles, and between the shoulder blades to pull the shoulders back. So there's a lot going on here. Okay, this is why it's such a good exercise. So shoulder blades are pulling together and down. Tummy is hugging in, and the back muscles are working to try and keep me up nice and tall. And at the same time, I'm getting a lovely hamstring stretch. And I say lovely very sarcastically. Now, from here, take a breath in. I'm going to do those little half rollbacks that we did earlier. So tuck the tailbone under, going past your sitting bones towards the coccyx. But this time, we're not going to go towards the sacroiliac joint. So kind of towards it, but not all the way. Now, hug your tummy in. Hold your hips where they are, but just relax the top half of your body so that the band starts to pull your hands closer towards the feet. So the band's actually doing all the work for you. Your gaze will be down towards your punani, towards your legs. So just enjoy that stretch you might feel in your lower back, maybe across the shoulders. Now inhale, grow nice and tall. Now we've got to draw those shoulder blades together. Now, I want you to send, I'm going to exaggerate it slightly, I just need to bend my legs. We're going to send the rib cage forward. So as you send the rib cage forward, now I want you to lift your collarbones. Now, often what happens with this is people lean back. So I want you to think of the lower half, your lumbar spine, actually going forward. Technically, it's not. We want to keep it in that neutral position. But if you push forward, it's kind of like helping the upper back to go back. So send your lumbar forward and then lift your heart. Okay, this is an excellent one to do in front of a mirror, just so you can check if you're leaning back. So your gaze will be kind of where the ceiling meets the wall. Depends on your neck. Some people like looking up. For me personally, I don't like doing that with the neck. And then really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Such an awesome upper back strengthener, this. Coming back to the center, neutral position. Inhale. Tuck your tailbone under. Hug your tummy in. So think of bringing the rib cage towards the hips. So going past your sitting bones towards the coccyx and then just meeting the sacroiliac joint. Relax your arms. Just let the band do the work. So your tummy's hugging backwards. The upper body's reaching forward. Oh, this is so nice. Inhale as you come up. Now squeeze your shoulder blades together. Send the lumbar spine forward and lift your collarbones. Pull those shoulder blades down the back and the gaze is up and forward. And we'll do one more, coming back to the center. Exhale into your cat part. Nice big stretch. Inhale to center. Holding it there, take another breath in. And then exhale. Back to the center. Bend your legs. And just take the band off. So just give your hands such a good finger exercise. Actually, my mum was asking about that. Yeah, just hold these bands. It's good exercise. So that was a class for extension and flexion. Extension is the back bends. So out of all of those exercises, any of that front-lying stuff is the best ones to do. So if you can just pick one of those in the day, extension, it will be your priority one. So I hope you enjoyed the class. Don't forget there's another video that's got the rotation and the side bends. So you can always go and do that one as well. So take care and I'll see you again soon. Bye.